Hey guys, it's Dave Frederick here, and this week I want to talk to you about the importance of borrowing. I was taught often growing up that I should not borrow anything, especially money, because you didn't want to be in debt, and borrowing was just a bad idea. And I think that's generally true, but I found there's one thing I can borrow that can be life-changing, and that's this. You can borrow discipline. I don't know about you, but I've often found myself in situations where I felt like I didn't have the discipline I needed to move something forward. To try something new or to keep at something. And because of that lack of discipline, I often didn't make the progress I wanted. Well, I was facing a situation a few years ago that I needed more discipline, and I just didn't have it. We were involved in planting our second church, and I was working a regular job during the day. And one of the only times I could meet people was if I got up early in the morning and saw them, like for breakfast, before work. If I wanted to have any God time, any time with the Lord before that, I had to get up really early. And I was not a morning person. It just did not come easy. I'd set my alarm, but it would go off, and that snooze alarm would call me, and I'd reach over and turn it off, and I just had a hard time getting up. I didn't have the discipline to develop that habit consistently. So what I did was I contacted a friend of mine, and he was in the habit of getting up early. He had an early morning job. He'd been getting up at 4 a.m. for years. He was so established in his life that he didn't even need an alarm clock. He would just automatically wake up at 4 a.m. every morning. And I arranged with him to give me a phone call every morning at 5. That's when I needed to get up. So at 5 a.m. the phone would ring, and I'd answer it, and he'd say, "Hey, Dave, it's Peter. I want to just call and see if you're up." I said, "Oh, yeah, Peter, I'm up. I'm up, thanks." And then you'd say, "So, one more question. Are you staying up, Dave?" And "Oh yeah, Peter, I'm staying up." And of course, I'm waking up by this point a little bit. He says, "Okay, one more question, Dave. Are you lying to me?" "No, Peter, no, I'm awake and I'm up. I'm staying up. I'm staying up." And by that time, I was awake enough that I did get up, and I stayed up because I didn't want to lie to Peter after he just asked me about it. And we did that day after day for several weeks. And by the end of that time, I had developed a new habit. I developed the discipline of getting up early. And my internal alarm clock had changed, and my habits of when I went to bed had changed, and everything was different, and I was able to get up on my own. Now, in essence, what I did was borrow discipline from Peter. He already had it in his life, and I piggybacked on what he was doing until I was able to develop it myself. Now, you can do that with other things besides the alarm. You can get up. If you'll find someone who's doing something that you want to do or need to do, you can often find a way to borrow discipline from them. Connect with what they're doing, have them give you a phone call. I know one person who wanted to go to the gym, and he had some friends who stopped by his house to pick him up every day. And they took him to the gym. And eventually it shifted to he would meet them at the gym. And eventually he had the habit built. He had developed the discipline to go on his own. But it started out really by borrowing theirs. So I just want to suggest that you think about that. You might not want to be a borrower of money. I think that's a good idea. But when you're stuck, when you don't have the discipline to move forward, find someone else who's got it and see if you can borrow it until you develop your own. Try it and see what happens. I think you'll be pleasantly surprised. Hey, if this was helpful to you, could you do me a favor and share a comment, tell me what's going on, like with this video or share with other people who might find it helpful. I really like the things we say, the things I share. I'd like to see help as many people as possible. So if you could help me with that, I'd appreciate it. Thanks for listening.